Good evening and welcome. That's the wrong screen, you moron. Okay.
Harry's always ruining our fun.
Let's change
Even
it.
before
Let's
the show, now
back.
the show starts.
Here we go. All right, now like from the top. Good evening and welcome to the Minions of the Zoo. I'm your host and keeper of the Harry channel. And with me tonight, our minions SkepTok.
Hi, everybody.
DrFunctional.
Hello.
And Serenity Star 13.
Hello.
So Serenity, you're getting ready for some weather, right?
Oh, yeah.
We weren't sure you were going to make it tonight.
Well, they kept changing when everything would hit, so it was just mostly me sitting there going, okay, guys, pick a choice.
Yeah.
So, that's all it is.
Yeah, it would be nice if they would just give you accurate and timely weather forecasts, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like it's been going this way for a decade more, so the Weather Channel is not what it used to be.
The weather is incredibly complicated. People who complain about the forecast not being accurate, it's like, I get that you're upset. I get that you're disappointed. But I don't think most people understand how hard it is to forecast the weather.
I understand that part. My issue is that it seems like 10 years ago and before, they were better at predicting things. Now, more than once, they seem to have almost thrown up their hands and just said, fuck it. And just, that's what it half the time. Because they're like, well, the European model shows this, and this model shows that. Okay, extrapolate between the two and tell me what most likely is going to happen.
Yep.
No, not going to do that? Okay.
I feel like when you get to things like the Weather Channel, there's a little bit of a bias to always pick the fastest worst case scenario because they don't want to be accused of not letting people know that there's going to be rain arriving. So if they're going to give you the early number from the models and how much rain you're going to get, they're going to give you the big number because they don't want to be accused of not letting you know what was going to happen. And if it isn't such a big deal, oh, well, you know, weather guy screws up. But they don't want to be on the hook for damages or whatever because they didn't tell you. So it could just be that they've become risk averse and maybe that's why. Or maybe if you plot it out and actually look at it, just do a study of like the last 20 years, 10 years, 20 to 10, 10 to now, and study it, that it just feels that way because we're cranky and impatient as we get older. I don't know. The operative word is seems like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that I'll admit to. It's just, at least, so the last big storm we had was back, like, multiple feet snowstorm. At least for my area, it was back in, like, 94. And at least my memory, even though I wasn't that old, at least from what I remember the Weather Channel, because my mother always watched the Weather Channel, because my mother lived for years in Virginia Beach, and that's where it got started, the Weather Channel itself. So she's loyal, but they pretty much predicted it would be 4 to 6 feet of snow pretty well, and everybody knew it was going to be 4 to 6 feet, and we got about almost a little over 5. It just seems like since then they're like, well, this could happen, but this model says this could happen. You would be good to try to figure something out and try like decide what works for you. If you're in Florida and there's a hurricane coming, you may want to just leave. It's kind of like they kept the whole, like, thing right around the election where they were like, there's a Cat 5 hurricane coming! There's a Cat 5 hurricane coming! And then the thing just turned.
Yeah.
And didn't even hit them.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you panicked a bunch of people. Like, I understand wanting to, like, worst case scenario. I'm West Virginian, that's the way we live. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know. It feels like they're not doing as much testing as they once did, or they're not relying on the stuff that they should be relying on. They're instead relying on algorithmic models. And that's where I kind of get aggravated.
Well,
the middle path, ladies and gentlemen, the middle path. Do both.
I mean, it's really complicated, and I don't want to veer off onto a 1 hour tangent that only 20% of people listening actually care about. But I can tell you this. I have it on extremely good authority that when you look at places like NCAR, which is the National Center for Atmospheric Research, where they develop and test a lot of these models, that the most recent model that they've adopted as sort of their frontline thing is felt by many people who know what they're talking about to be vastly inferior to other models, and that the reason it was chosen was largely political. Allegedly. Just going to throw that out there and move on to the next person. Hi, Functional. Have we lost
think
functional?
Oh,
And
what?
Skep-
No, I'm here.
See that? I told you, just grazing the tangent was enough to put functional to sleep. How's it going?
Raising the tangent.
Yeah, I almost went off on a 1-hour tangent about the science of weather modeling.
Yeah, I for one have never ever seen the Weather Channel. Good. We were just talking about. I was talking to Skep, our local Navy expert, about how I've gone down a rabbit hole, learning how the Navy feeds its crews and troops and everything for months at a time, and it actually caused me to look more into something I've been wanting to do for a while, is learning a little bit more American styles of cooking. So this evening I made. I was looking at Pennsylvania Dutch, so I made Amish beef with noodles. Really good. Oh, it's really good. It's really simple, but really good. And I started a sauce for the brajol. So I'm going to do some New York Italian over here.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a little bit of New Jersey. Brajol is something I've had before. I've never made it before. And for those who don't know, brajol is beef stuffed with stuffing with red sauce. And I mean, the cornerstone of all, modern Italian cooking is that red sauce. You gotta throw everything in that red sauce, and you gotta cook that bastard. And you don't throw it all in at once. The secret is it's got everything, even the kitchen sink, your Nana's loafers. It's got everything in that sauce. The thing is when to add what ingredient to the sauce to not just slam all those flavors together, but to build layers of those flavors.
Yeah. People often overcook their garlic and put it in way too early, for instance.
Or they'll just, chop onion and throw it into the red sauce, and it's like, wait, back up.
Yeah.
You didn't sweat those first, or the meat component. If there's got to be some kind of meat component. Sometimes if you're doing, let's say, a leaner type of meat, you don't throw that in at the beginning, because then you're just going to turn it into leather. You can saute or braise it real quick, real hot, real fast, and then toss it in at the end just to give it that little kiss of finishing. But then you also need to remember you need some protein, meat, grease component to help the sauce bind. So if I'm going that route, I'll probably maybe use something like bacon fat or beef tallow. Anyway.
It's what's for dinner.
And a bolognese sauce is very different. Very different. I'm talking, the old world style Italian red sauce that's just like literally back in the old world, whatever they had on hand was going into that sauce. Just Nona or whoever knows exactly when to add the shoe, when to add, the tobacco. I'm kidding. Don't put shoes and tobacco in your sauce.
Yeah, you do you.
But, it's the idiom, throw everything in including the kitchen sink. You're not actually throwing a kitchen sink. You're just, everything you have on hand.
Hey, Skep. I just thought of a terrible comment. I was going to say the shoe adds both soul and terroir. I hate myself.
Well done. Well done.
I hate myself.
Yes. Shakespeare used puns. There's nothing.
I know.
The show's loafing right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to say I'm better than that, but we both know that's not true.
Yeah, I usually eschew this kind of sort of.
Exactly.
I'm going to tie you up in a second.
So, I set up the show really late, so I think people are only just going to dribble in just over time. We don't have our full complement yet, but there are people here, and as per tradition, I'm asking Skep to welcome them.
Absolutely. I'm sitting here wondering why I'm not getting. There it is. That finally get the watch page up here, and we see that Critical Thinkers Guild is here. Welcome. Nice to see you. Raymond Lewis is here. it's like a little bit of a slender crew this evening. I see Serenity's in there talking to it, but we appreciate you guys coming out. We do this show for you and enjoy doing it, enjoy involving you in our discussion, try and make chat a real part of this thing. So anyway, welcome everybody. It's so nice to see you.
Yes, it is. And maybe next time I won't basically complete setting up the show 15 minutes before airtime.
Yes.
It happens.
I hear you.
I was actually working on the spreadsheet and trying to make everything not suck tonight. I mean, after last week's bout of not technical excellence, and I'm still not 100% sure what happened to the stream, we just sort of stopped.
Yeah.
And that was not good.
Oh, it was definitely YouTube side, because I went to other streams and it was just I was just getting stuttering all there, so I just decided to turn off YouTube.
If it makes you feel any better, it happens to Scott Adam.
No, it doesn't make me feel better at all. But one thing I can manage to do is print semi-reliably, unlike him.
Well, yeah, that's true.
I don't know.
Actually, no, he's hypnotizing. Well, let me tell you, I know all of Scott's techniques. I've been reading Scott, following Scott for 20 years, literally 20 years. I worked in the same building. I worked 2 floors down from his ISDN lab in the mothership down by San Pablo. Harry knows what I'm talking about. That giant building that won that award. Anyway, what Scott is doing is he's casting spells. He thinks he can gain an edge by having you believe something, and it amuses him no end to think how clever he is that he's actually playing this 4D chess behind the scenes. But that's what he's doing here. He's trying to condition people to think a certain way. That's all he does. He's very amused by his ability, and he's actually pretty good at it.
Have you seen this doppelganger probable AI construction of Elon Musk that people are talking about?
No. What are you talking about?
Oh God, I'll have to find it. I don't have something set up on it, but there's this person goes out and has done interviews on a few different shows, and their name actually begins. It's like Adrian. It actually begins with AI. Okay, and this person sounds and acts almost exactly like Elon Musk, but something slightly off. So people are trying to figure out, is this Elon Musk pretending to be somebody else so that it gives him cover? Is he just LARPing as somebody else? Or what the heck is going on? And I've only sort of heard a little of this in passing.
Elon usually does things for a reason. Usually you can discern a logical reason behind something. This doesn't sound like him to me.
You know what about this, Serenity?
I think the man's ruled by his ego. So
well, I would agree with you there. 100%.
Okay, the person's name. Okay, well, I mean, hey, let's just throw the schedule out the window because nobody cares, right?
Right.
Nobody cares.
Are you talking about Elon Ma?
No, I'm talking about Adrian Dittman. Oh, I guess it doesn't begin with AI. Yeah, so there's this Adrian Dittman guy and a bunch of people think that it's actually Elon Musk.
He's too arrogant to try to hide behind someone else like that.
Yeah, some people are thinking Adrian Dittman is a burner account for Elon, where he can just go on and do a bunch of interview things.
That he's got his ego's way too big for that. He would never think. He wouldn't care. He would just be like, "No, this is what I say. Fuck you."
From what I can tell, Adrian Dittman sounds a lot like an AI version of Elon Musk that's being trotted around. I don't know. Normally, I show up with answers, not questions. This is more I don't know what the hell's going on, but people are talking about this Adrian Dittman character.
I mean, it could be, but like I said, Elon's, there's too much ego there. He wouldn't hide behind something. The man's got enough ego to not care about hiding. Why would he care about hiding? Why would he want it? Because most of the stuff that Adrian Dittman says is probably similar to stuff that Elon said in the past. Maybe not exactly the same. Maybe more crass, which is something to be heard of. But
did you hear about this UC Berkeley professor tries to prove Elon Musk has humiliating burner account? Elon Musk's most recent drama already had the ingredients of a classic internet episode, bizarre allegations of meme coin, and a very confused comment from Musk's own mother. Now a UC Berkeley professor has leapt into the fray. The brouhaha has a simple source. A good number of people now believe that the Tesla CEO is running an influential burner account under the name Adrian Dittman. The account boasts over 200,000 X followers and hosts live stream audio spaces on the platform. Dittman doesn't have a real photo on their profile and regularly posts about Musk's favorite talking points like SpaceX success and critiques of legacy media. More importantly, the account's voice sounds almost exactly like Musk. Accents, intonations, buzzwords, everything. It's uncanny. And then they go through, different examples of it. And like, if Dittman is indeed Musk, the world's richest man on one of the cringiest runs imaginable, in response to a January 2024 post from Musk featuring his child, X, Dittman wrote, "You're an amazing father, Elon. Your kids are lucky to have you." Well, this could be a giant troll.
I don't know.
Right. Right.
I'm thinking that it's an AI. It's an experiment in AI.
Maybe.
Because he has other things to do. He has better things to do.
Yeah. When I read that, I started coming back over it. This could be him.
He could just, he could spend time wooing outstanding women and making more kids for his weird little compound, his weird little breeding farm. You know what I mean? There's so many things Elon could be doing that would be more entertaining than this, but I don't know. Anyway, sorry, I don't know the answers to this. So let's see.
How he manages to play video games and be at Mar-a-Lago and tweet from like 10 different accounts. Either the guy is fucking Superman or, well, I can't really. Can I swear yet? Are we?
Dude, I've already said the F word like 3 times.
Oh well, I mean it's all just a bunch of Twitter faggotry.
Okay, that one's a little bit better than the F-U-C-K word, but okay.
I don't know. Is it better? I almost think it's worse.
I meant worse.
Yeah.
I'm tired.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, this is not important. This isn't even remotely important. Functional, since I've got your attention.
Oh boy.
We've talked about the Parker Solar Probe in the past, right? And it's basically got this extremely eccentric orbit, and it goes in hot and fast, gets a bunch of data on the sun, and then loops back out and is just accelerating and accelerating. It's going through multiple planetary accelerations. It's using the sun to accelerate it. At this point, the thing's doing, 600-something thousand kilometers per hour? Like almost 500,000 miles per hour this thing's going. It's easily the fastest moving thing humans have ever built. Okay,
yeah,
by like a lot.
Last pass, it's under 400 million miles or whatever. 4 million miles.
Yeah, a little bit before Christmas.
I don't know, miles. Like, why?
Well, they actually shot this thing through to within about 3 million miles of the sun because they wanted to get a sample of the upper solar atmosphere. This thing has an amazing heat shield on it, and we weren't entirely sure it was going to come out unscathed. A few days later, it comes around the back of the sun and sends a signal that says it's alive, and it's just starting to send the actual data. This is an unqualified success for human science.
It absolutely is.
This is astonishing, and maybe it's not as sexy as a lot of other things, but we literally sent a probe that just kissed the outer surface of the sun.
Right. That's amazing.
And survived.
It exceeded its design specifications because it was only supposed to get within, and I had to do the conversion, 6.5 million kilometers, and it dipped down to like 6.1 million kilometers. And it came out the other side, and I just you should see the shit-eating grin on my face right now. Like,
well, the engineering of the heat shield is amazing.
That, makes me.
Sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
It just makes me, shit-eating grin on my face.
Well, this is the kind of stuff that, you think, well, we'd all like to live forever. At least I'd like to live for a very long time and be healthy. And, what are the kinds of things that I look forward to? Well, there's a lot of shit that I just don't care about. Like whether Adrian Dittman is Elon Musk, right? Not important. It's just a thing people are talking about. But this kind of shit is actually, the kind of thing where I hear and I go, glad I lived long enough to see this.
Yes.
That's that's the kind of milestone these things are. You know,
Yes.
I'm still basically
Absolutely right.
I'm basically the same kid that was excited, running a bunch of wire trying to build an antenna so I could see, what happened with, the Pioneer Pioneer probes when they got to Jupiter. That was like the most exciting thing I'd ever seen. That was amazing.
And now you can just type in a few keystrokes and you can see it all.
I can load
So
in.
it's even gotten better and easier.
Yeah, I
to
can load
be-
in Starry Night and do
Right.
this and just go there virtually. But
Right.
I do still remember the first time I got a shitty telescope as a kid and was able to take that plastic monstrosity and get a fuzzy image of Saturn and use my own eye holes to actually look at the photons. That was kind of cool.
The first time I saw Saturn, I thought it looked like a little cartoon character with big ears.
Hmm.
And then I realized, oh, those are the rings. That's amazing. And then I saw the little points of light, and I went, oh, that's got to be Titan. Holy crap!
Yeah, and I was looking at it through optics that I think Galileo would have felt sorry for me. And I mean, those
Yes.
children's scopes were not good.
Tasco 2.4-inch refractor, my friend.
Oh,
I'll pass
just-
it now.
Just the worst.
Just
Just the worst.
it's semi-straight enamel tube.
Yeah, it's pretty darn bad.
Yeah.
Well, there are some other things. I started with that one because I accidentally showed it at the beginning of the show because, why not? But there's a whole list of stuff that NASA is working on, via SpaceX and other companies during 2025. And it's sort of a brief rundown of it. Some lunar probes starting in January. This is the Firefly Aerospace's Blue Ghost Mission 1. It's going to carry 10 experiments to the moon, being launched on a Falcon rocket. There's some crew movements going on via SpaceX, great. There's the Lunar Trailblazer mission, another lunar mission. Why not? NASA ISRO Synthetic Aperture Radar mission. I think that one's going to Mars. No, that's an Earth mission to planet Earth one. The New Glenn rocket is supposed to take some science into orbit. That's one of the Blue Origin space things.
Yeah.
And it's competition for SpaceX because honestly, they need it.
Yes, they do.
They really do, because it's actually getting a little out of balance. The NASA Sphere mission launched the Sphere Spectrophotometer for the History of the Universe, Epic of Recolonization and ICE's Explorer, Sphere X. God, NASA, you just need to be kicked in the nuts sometimes. The Space
Sphere
Observatory
X.
will conduct an extensive all-sky survey and optical and near-infrared mapping hundreds of millions of galaxies and stars.
How do we go from probes named, Voyager, Pioneer, Da Vinci to Sphere X?
Well, Sphere X is the name of the mission. And that's just government
Still.
bureaucracy. Getting into the whole NASA mission directorate, shut up.
It's
NASA's
lame.
crazy.
Or in a more simpler term, human beings like to have simple names, and Sphere X works.
Yeah. Bambi, ballistic anti-missile, ballistic interceptor. It's one of my favorite ones. Let's see. Private space travel. Vulcan Centaur launches Dream Chaser 1 in May because, the United Launch Alliance is still there. Another Starliner mission. We'll see. SpaceX propels NASA's solar experiment. So another solar experiment. Artemis 2. Sonic Boom Revolution. Oh, yeah. More testing of the X-59, which is a supersonic prototype that produces very little noise on the ground. So imagine supersonic commercial flight without all the craziness that ensues. It's a fantastic design, the X-59. So there's a whole bunch of stuff planned for this year. And I'm not sure any of it is as interesting as the Parker probe, but, the year is still young.
Or Da Vinci or the future Europa probe. But Da Vinci's not going to be launched for another 5 years.
Oh, you mean the
anyway.
nuclear-powered helicopter we're sending to a moon?
Europa or
Yeah.
Titan? One of the
Titan.
two.
It's going to
we're-
Titan.
Titan, thank you. Because we want to take water samples and we want to learn what kind of microorganisms might be under the in there, and we can get a good sense of what might be different compared to life here. Like, we're talking single-celled organisms, supposedly, for our best guess, but that's still that's alien life. That's exciting. That's extra planetary life. Like we have, you know, these ideas running in our head that there might have been life on Mars, but we haven't found any evidence to that fact yet. So to be able to literally go out and, you know, in our lifetimes, they come back with a water sample that says, "Hey, there's some microorganisms in here." What?
Yep. Let's see.
I mean, I should have said Europa. It's a moon of Jupiter. I was thinking Titan, but that was a different mission.
Well, I mean, that was it last week I mentioned that there conceivably might be life. Was it around one of Uranus's moons, or was it Neptune? I forget.
Well, let's see. It would be Nereid or Triton, probably.
I think we need, once we get the moon base set up, we need to set up a Ganymede base.
I know where you're going with this, and just no.
Why not?
You just want that war to start up with all the asteroid ships and stuff. You're just trying to force us into the expanse, aren't you?
Yes and no, but there's see, the reason why the expanse is so great is because it's based on like actual science. So Ganymede actually has no atmosphere, but it has strong magnetosphere, a strong magnetic field, which, what does that do? That prevents damaging space radiation from killing people if we are on the surface of this moon. We'd still need domes and everything.
Provides some protection.
Some protection, yes, correct.
Yeah.
I think it's Uranus, Harry, that's the moon, has got the moons that you're talking about.
No, Europa,
No, we're talking about two different things, Scott.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, that's okay. Europa is where the nuclear-powered helicopter is going.
Yeah.
Right.
But we mentioned last week that there was another possible
Uranus,
ocean beneath the surface of a moon, of a gas giant. And it wasn't the usual ones we talk about. So, Serenity.
Yo.
What do you think of this? You've probably already heard about this. So, Proton VPN. We're currently observing a massive surge in signups for Proton VPN originating in the U.S. Typically, we see such spikes from countries with unstable governments facing internet shutdowns, meaning that this is an anomaly. You already know where this is going, right, Serenity?
I have a vague idea, yeah.
Rule 34?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
False alarm, it's porn.
Yeah. I could have told you. Like, as someone who has a Proton account, like, calm down, boys. Like, Jesus.
Yeah, it's just, well, I mean, a number of states have been putting in like restrictions for trying to force people to, you know, supply their driver's license to get access to adult material and pushing for digital ID. And there's a terrible, terrible, terrible bill, which I don't have time to cover right now, that they're trying to push through, of course, because won't somebody think of the children? Another digital ID initiative. And so it's not surprising that when these things start getting clamped down on, that we see these big surges in VPN signups. Mm. Yeah.
And it wasn't the helicopter that I was thinking of, even though that's also being developed. It was the Europa Clipper, which was sent at the end of last year and will reach Europa on my 50th birthday in 2030. Wait, 50? Yes, 50.
Yeah. All right.
Come later. It's always porn.
By the way,
that's why we're going to Europa for porn.
For Uranus, several of its moons are suspected to have internal oceans. And so Ariel, pardon me?
Oh my.
Serenity's looking something up, I can tell.
Okay.
No, my dog bit me. Hold on.
Oh no. Okay.
It's not an actual bite. It's a nip. He's being a jackass.
It's Ariel, Umbriel, Titania, and Oberon. So the four largest moons of Uranus, and the largest moon of Neptune, also Triton, is also considered a candidate for having a subsurface ocean.
Yeah.
So a lot of these things really, a lot of these moons, of the far gas giants, the ice giants, I guess they call them. You know, Neptune and Uranus.
No, I guess they do, yeah. But they are also gas giants. But
yes, they're also gas, ice. Come on, man.
But it's very Shakespearean, those names. It's practically a Midsummer Night's Dream, isn't it?
Yeah, it's exactly what it is. The fairies.
Just
It's funny
looking
how we have these names of ancient gods from ancient cultures for the largest things, because things that we could see when we were that young as a species, and then we, as technology got a little bit better, we're like, well, we ran out of Roman gods, so Shakespearean plays, let's do it.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
But is anybody a fan of a certain neighborhood, Wizard, Chicago, Illinois? You see Ariel, Umbriel, Titania, Oberon. He used every one of those names in his books.
Mhm.
Every one of them.
They're solid names.
Yep.
Yeah, I like the ancient names are good, but a lot of the Shakespearean names are really outstanding.
Fun.
Excellent. Outstanding. Yep.
Yeah, I saw some younger woman a couple years ago, and she had her little name tag on because she was doing something, and I think she was called, like, it was a Miranda or a Minerva or something like that, and I always just kind of smile a little bit when we
Harry?
get to those names. Yeah.
Harry, Sora's here.
Oh,
Titania is the size of Australia, although unlike Australia, Titania exists.
hey Sora.
Hello.
So we both survived the new year, even though we were the last ones to
Yeah.
enjoy it. Yeah, left
Happy
coast.
New Year.
Anything new and exciting?
Got a new book?
Yeah.
Like today?
Nice.
I said yeah because she and I have the same book.
Yeah.
Do I want to know?
No, it's not a bad book. It's the Archimedes Engine Exodus by Peter F. Hamilton. It's massive. It's 893 pages. And it's the first.
I was gifted a copy of Starter Villain by, was it John Scalzi?
Nice.
And I haven't started it yet. I'm not really sure what to expect. There's a picture of a cat wearing a suit on the front, so I'm a little concerned.
Promising.
Cats don't wear suits.
Not with that
Not
attitude.
with that
they don't.
attitude.
That is really funny.
Yeah, now we're having fun. Yeah, Sora, we were just talking about how
Yeah, we're
how there's with the beginning of the new year and a bunch of new restrictions on adult stuff on the internet in various U.S. states, that there was a sudden
yes.
spike in VPN VPN signups. Yeah, go figure.
All of Texas.
All of
The
Texas,
internet is for porn.
Florida.
For porn.
Well, the commercialization of it, porn was a huge driving force behind that.
Which is human nature, but still bad.
Yeah, Rule
Yeah.
34 exists
Why do you
for a
think-
reason.
Why do you think we're going to Uranus? We're going to discover if we can eat something or fuck it.
Exactly. I do like that episode of what was it, Futurama, where they go and they find these critters. They're basically the eggs, but they're almost
Poplars,
like little,
yeah.
they were like little fritters.
Poplars, yeah.
Yeah. And so they basically exterminated an entire race of things by serving them at like a fast food seafood restaurant as
And
a
then
side
the
dish.
Omicronians come and they want to kill them all.
And while they're being threatened, Fry just keeps eating them because he can't stop himself. That was the best part.
It's so good.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's take a break. If cartoons aren't real, explain this.
Is this porn?
No.
Okay, just checking.
Oh.
Oh no!
Let's do that again.
I mean, this is bad enough.
Oh.
Right in the small berries.
It's like, okay, he's clear. No, he ain't clear. Oh, buddy.
Hell.
Making me 5 minutes ago.
That was pretty great.
I've had days like that.
Yeah. I don't have a lot of palate cleaners today, but we're just quality. To start right off with somebody getting hit in the small berries. That's what we need to do.
That's some
In
good
the
stuff
noggin.
right there.
Let's see. Oh, Sora,
Not to laugh at.
endangered pygmy hippo born in Virginia Zoo.
Oh, how exciting.
Aw, look.
Harry, if you don't want to
Look
get
at the
copyright struck, I
potato.
would stop the weather thing in the corner.
There we go. Hey, as long as it doesn't say 60 minutes on it, usually or it's the Blue Danube. God, Dad, we got yeeted off the air on that one.
On the Blue Danube?
Yeah,
Yep.
I can't remember the guy's name who does it, but we got yeeted off the air. They literally killed the stream on us. Here I was saying nice things about all the nice people in their little outfits and the music and stuff. And yeah, well, anyway. So there's a tiny hippo. Are you happy now?
Very happy.
Okay,
I
good.
don't understand why these things exist or how they've lasted as long as they have, but they've discovered fossil evidence of things that resemble them quite accurately from like 21 million years ago. And it's like, when you have creatures this small, aren't they just prey for everything around them?
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily. It depends.
No, I know. It's that was the question I was asking before I researched these things.
Yeah,
Because I keep seeing these stupid little baby hippos, and it's like, no, that's a full hippo. I'm like, wait, what? Oh, it's a pygmy hippo. I'm like, oh, okay.
It's a baby and a
some
pygmy.
idiot like crossbreed these like 20 years ago? No, they've been around for millions of years. Oh, weird.
Well, Mom is bigger, and Mom will, and he's going to be close to Mom. And it's Mom's job to make sure all the alligators and stuff understand, you're not going to do anything about this, right? Yeah, I understand.
But, they don't get that big. Have you ever seen a hippo in real life, like at a zoo or something?
Yeah.
They're ginormous. They're big.
Have you ever seen a hippo take on one of those big Nile saltwater crocodiles?
I've seen one of them bite one of those motherfuckers in half.
It's not even close. It isn't even a thing. The alligator latches on, and the hippo just tears it to pieces.
Yeah, I've seen the hippo like close its jaws on the alligator and snaps his head right off the body.
Oh yeah,
it was
or
incredible.
They just tear it apart just by walking on it.
Yeah.
They're so big and so strong. Like that's why they're scary. But the little pygmy hippos, you're just kind of like, oh, that's so cute.
Yeah. If not for alligators, if not for hippos, I think alligators would be at least 30% dumber. But they're really just they're just really a Darwin gatekeeper for the alligator population.
Yeah.
Are you at least smart enough to know not to mess with the baby hippo?
Yeah.
I don't know. It looks pretty tasty. Maybe
Exactly nothing to see here.
Just get a little
Landfill.
bite.
That could be the first symptom of a fatal disease, my friend.
Yeah. Get so.
Funny enough, I've seen Stacey Abrams do the same thing to a crocodile.
Hey now.
Yeah. Hey. It's just those split teeth, man. Sorry.
Excuse me. So I wanted to do more sort of discussion topic things as opposed to news articles for a while. The problem is writing discussion topic. Coming up with those is hard. But I actually,
the Linda Richmond approach.
I do have a couple things that we could talk about. It's sort of thoughts that I had during the week. So this is sort of an open question. I assume you guys have heard people lately complaining about Musk and Doge, and was it not Ramaswamy? What's his name?
Vivek?
Yeah, it's Vivek.
Is Ramaswamy? Okay.
Vivek Ramaswamy.
Talking about how, well, what's going on with these people? We didn't vote for these people. Why should they have this sort of power? Because we didn't vote for them. What's going on? Why are they part of the government? This is wrong. And I thought about this for a minute, and there was a fairly obvious thing that popped in my head, but I haven't heard anybody mention this. Do you remember during the coup how Fauci, who was appointed, and every annoying blue state health department person at the county level had all this power over everybody's personal and professional lives? None of those people were elected. Not one of them, especially those county health advisors. They didn't have a problem with it then. In fact, they were basically saying, in some cases, we hope you unalive yourself because of your ignorance, because you're putting the rest of us at danger, because you won't listen to this appointed county health person. But then we want to bring in a couple technical experts who know a thing or two about technology and downsizing and that sort of thing, and have them advise the government about how to save some money. And that's just beyond the pale. But unelected officials telling you whether you can attend your grandfather's funeral or be at his bedside when he's dying, that's totally okay. Is it just that people have incredibly short memories? Or, what do you guys think about this?
All right, I'll go first.
Yeah.
Well, the problem
I
is
heard you humming, so.
well, the problem is that the other side did have a problem with it. People complained about Fauci and all of them having that problem. This is just the reverse.
The Dems did?
No, the Republicans
No,
did.
but the Dems are the ones criticizing
I
Musk.
understand that,
Yeah.
but this is just the flip of that.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's the issue. If you didn't like it when it was being done to you, why are you okay doing it to other people?
Precisely.
Okay. It goes both ways, which means people have the right to complain about Vivek and Musk just as much as that's what I'm getting at.
They
And
have the
that's
right
my
to
issue.
complain, but I don't know if the complaint about them being unelected is anything more than just a whine.
Yeah, but once again, that's what Republicans did during Fauci. It's a circle. It's just a big old circle. It's just a continuous circle.
Well-
Side switch and do stuff. And they both have standing I agree with both sides. I don't think Vivek and Musk should have that much power to do stuff. I don't think Fauci should have had that much power to do stuff. Doesn't fucking matter because no one's going to listen to me, but that's kind of the truth of the matter of it is. It's just, that's the way it is. Both sides flip-flop. They've always flip-flop, and they always will flip-flop. Whether you consider either side to be more important than the other, that's up to you. And it could be you're more right than I am. It could be I'm more wrong than anybody else. I don't know. It's just, that's kind of the thing. It's like if you're going to sit there and get mad about it with Vivek and Musk, then you are a hypocrite for not being mad when it was Fauci. But at the same time, if you bitched about Fauci, you can't get mad at the other side for being mad about Vivek and Musk.
So when things progress to the point where they're actually talking about specific things that they want to cut, then people are going to challenge those suggestions, right?
Well, I mean, yeah, but that's what would happen even if they didn't like Musk.
Right, but right now they have nothing to complain about except for the fact that they're not elected. Now, back during the pandemic or plandemic, whatever you want to call it, there were people that were criticizing the county health officials because they didn't like what they were saying. And they were unelected, right? Who gives them the authority, but also the things they're saying are bullshit, is what people were saying. So maybe the only difference now is they don't have anything specific to rail against, so all we're hearing is the unelected part of it.
I still have a problem with the fact that Musk calls it Doge.
Yeah.
He has a Doge coin. I still have a problem with that, which to me means that there was there is an intention to push his stupid cryptocurrency.
The official name of it really shouldn't be Doge. I
agree.
think we all agree on that, right?
Yeah.
We call it something else, like Sphere X.
that's my other issue. But I mean, yeah. But at the same time, they've already talked about the stuff they're going to do, and we'll see if they actually follow through with it or not. I want bloat cut, but at the same time, there's a lot of both sides just not acknowledging the fact that they're more alike than they want to admit. And that's where a lot of the problems come from, in my opinion.
I think the people on the left just have incredibly short memories. Of course, people on the right probably do too. I don't think search engines and technology and AI are doing anybody any favors. I feel like the political attention span is so short because, Democrats are in charge. Let's get rid of the filibuster. Democrats are not in charge. Let's keep the filibuster. I mean, it's just whatever's convenient in the moment.
Yeah.
And people are just trying to find ways using rhetoric to justify, I want what I want when I want it.
Principle. It's not based on principle at all.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the issue is that I also get both sides of the argument for term limits, but at the same time, other than taking people out to the brick wall and doing things from the other side with things that are metal that go whoosh, I don't see how we stop this from happening and people just sitting in positions and never moving out of them, aka Bernie Sanders. It's just it's like I don't know what to do with it at this point. So it's not that I give up. It's just being a filthy, dirty centrist that I am.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't consider myself a fence sitter, but I'm a filthy, dirty centrist. I see both sides acting exactly like each other. And I've heard the same arguments from both sides about, well, this needs to be done because otherwise everything's going to fail. Okay. I absolutely understand that. And absolutely we should be trying to fix things. But at the same time, acting like a jackass doesn't solve anything.
I do think that they're going to have that the Doge people or whatever it's going to be called will have better rationales for their suggestions than the county health officials did. You know, in many cases, people
I hope.
who had maybe like a master's degree in public health administration. They weren't doctors, they weren't scientists, they weren't whatever, but they were, you know, we were literally being told, if you don't agree with these people, we're going to remove you from the public discourse.
There were a couple that were doctors and who actually fought against that. Like when they said, okay, well, give us the data for this new virus and we'll you know, make our policy based on that. The guy in Florida, most notably one of those people. And when they got the data, they said, you're fucking insane. We're not shutting down our businesses and telling people, like, you're an idiot. That you gave us like nothing and you're telling us it's the next Black Plague. And they said, no, not happening. And I think, just to go back to the beginning, I think that they're kind of a false equivalency between someone like these unelected non-doctor health officials and people like Fauci and Elon or Vivek in certain circumstances. Now, Fauci, he is a doctor, apparently. However, in his time as a health official within government, he's proven to be completely incompetent. Like, a lot of people during the coup were like, why is this guy the head of the Department of Health or whatever when he failed so hard in the 90s on AIDS? And it's like, well, yeah, that's his track record. His track record has been one colossal failure after another. Now, Vivek, not too familiar with him. I know he's made a name for himself. He's had some political success as far as the public discourse has gone. He ingratiated himself into the winning side. He's had some business success. Elon, the same. A lot of business success, you know, taking companies that were kind of middling and turning them into really powerful juggernauts within their fields. Like, we all love SpaceX. Like, SpaceX is, to me, it's like a godsend. So I think that it's a little bit of a misnomer. Like, we can compare Fauci to, say, Elon, but I don't think we can compare some of these unelected health officials or who's the tranny, who's the health minister right now thing.
Use the F word and the T word in one show. Okay.
What, cars have transmissions?
No, it's I can't remember her name. Admiral something or other.
Admiral whatever, not a doctor, not a health expert at all. And compare him to
Rachel Levine.
Compare him to RFK, who RFK at like 70 years old is doing one-armed push-ups and looks better than me at somebody half of his bloody age. Like, okay, maybe he might know a thing or two about being in good health. He might not know it all, and I might take issue with some of his points, but the overall, like, comparison is a little bit more equal there. And yeah, I do think it has to do with a little bit more of the one-sidedness of it, that a lot more of the outspoken crazy is on one side. And we've seen over the last decade, people trickling from that side. Hey, I'm raising my hand right now. I'm one of them. I'm a classical liberal, but I relate and can have conversations and disagree with, most importantly, disagree with the people on the air quotes right that I'm now having conversations with. And it's not like they're going to turn around and go, oh, I can't believe you don't believe that there's such a thing as transgender children. Like, you're a monster. It's like, well, yeah, okay. Nobody on that side's going to, you know, say, oh, you're an anti-theist? Okay, well, bye. No, they're going to be like, well, you know, I feel bad for you. You know, you should believe in God or blah, blah, blah. But anyways, so let's talk about this newest probe to Uranus. It's like, it makes a huge difference. And we see that political shift not only, like these patterns, not only happening in your country, but it's happening all across the West. And, you know, to different degrees.
Yeah.
I think you have to, if you're in a position of trust like that, you have to have some kind of experience. You don't set somebody up who's going to be in charge of a law enforcement agency like the FBI or DHS or whatever, who has no understanding of security and procedures like that. Just like you wouldn't want somebody who's not a doctor or otherwise some form of health expert Give me a biologist. Give me a nutritionist. Give me something. Not just, oh, this person has this position because I fucking said so. And
Biologists.
then that's the other thing too. When you one quick last point is when you elect these people, you, the body politic, elect these people, you're not just electing them. They're just the face. And I'm talking about presidents, governors, whatever, your mayors. You're electing that person who's the face and their team. So that's a lot of other unelected people, air quotes, unelected people that also come into play in this.
Yep. Okay. Well, I have another one, but I'm going to save my other discussion topic for later. Let's see. Where do we want to go next? Well, let's see. There's something I put in the thumbnail, which is I basically said wholesome man hobbies is basically how I labeled it to myself. So I don't know why I keep ending up with model trains being a thing, but here's one that's a little different
Awesome.
than the last one. So this is a little model steam engine.
Damn right.
Back to the mill.
Oh man, that is cool.
Spring,
Yeah.
and they need
I keep watching the one you showed us the last time with the cat.
And this has only got 896 views, so give this guy a view.
Northern Utah.
Live Steam, not stream Steam. Yeah, so he's got like his little model train thing set up outside, but that's an actual little steam locomotive.
Nice.
Look at that little Chad beast.
Nice.
That's really nice.
That's really cute.
Somewhere up there, James Watt is smiling.
Yep.
I was just having a conversation with Elwin the other night about how hobbies are important.
They are. I'm going to put that in the chat for anybody who's interested. Okay.
I do different kinds of miniatures, but
I mean, he doesn't have like a cat attacking the train and like background music and all that sort of stuff. But I like that. I'm sitting here thinking, I want a steam-powered model train. Because he actually, you can see them stoking the boiler on these things. The way they make all this stuff work. It's just such a little engine of good right there.
His name is Carl with a K.
Oh, no.
Dun, dun, dun.
Very scary.
He's making the trains run on time, and his name is Carl?
Yeah, that is an AccuCraft 13-ton Shay on a snowy day, 26th of December, 2024.
So cool.
That is pretty cool. Here's also, man, when men get motivated to deal with stuff, we are awesome and just kind of terrible at the same time. So how about this? Look at that garage door. It's opening. Oh no, what's on the garage door? It's a plug. What's going to happen? Yay!
Yay!
Do you know how much energy, how much effort it took to get that aligned so that it worked properly?
No.
A lot.
No.
That would be a
you work
huge pain in
backwards,
the
Terry.
ass.
Yeah, you
work
put the plug first, right? And then you
Open the door.
And then you secure it, but it always ends up moving when you secure it. It's not that easy.
Just use duct tape.
Sora, what did you do?
Sort of.
Did Sora yeet herself?
I think one of the dogs may have pulled her plug.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, pull the plug or hit refresh.
Canine yeeting.
They're trying you tonight. Yeah, they are.
Good job.
It was probably Minnie, because Minnie's always the one doing it, because she knows she can go behind the computer and get the cords crossed. She knows she can.
Yeah.
Sora, do you see what's holding the plug there? Get some of that stuff.
Yeah.
Hey.
So, how about
And
this?
take the dog.
and hands.
Should you ride this roller coaster?
3,
No.
2.
Oh, I've seen this video. I love
Oh,
this
this
one.
one.
Isn't it
I
great
love
that we
this.
have tiny cameras now?
So cool.
Oh, it's so good. Tiny cameras that don't throw off the weight of the car.
Or the cat.
I mean, in general, no, because I'm terrified of heights, but this is fantastic.
This is fantastic. This guy did a great job. He's got 3.3 million thumbs up, so I don't think we're the only people that know about
Oh,
this.
yeah. She's got several of them.
And it just sort of goes and goes through his house, and then, then we go outside. Luke, shoots himself. I mean,
Starts the
I'm just
barbecue.
telling you, because it's almost always guys
3.
doing this stuff, right? I mean, only men get weirdly obsessed about stuff like this, so far as I've seen. maybe you ladies have some sort of thing that's equivalent. I don't know, but
I have seen it on the other fair sex, but it's very different.
so remember. Oh wait, that's the wrong one. Remember this guy?
These Class 313s mean a
Oh
huge amount
yeah,
to me,
I love
Yeah.
and we're saying goodbye
He's
to
so
them
good.
this week. In this video, I will document the emotional
I will-
farewell rail tour.
I hope with every
Ugh.
fiber of my being that he's not something doesn't come out about him later. Let's just put it that way. I hope.
I mean,
with every
there isn't
fiber-
a Jared Fogler thing that happens.
Yeah, it's like please God don't, because his sweaters are good. I like how excited he gets.
And look at how
Takes
excited all the
trains down.
people are that are there with him.
Yeah,
look at
train
that.
otakus. They're
Yeah,
train
I mean, he's
otakus.
basically causing other people to go train spotting, which I think
Yeah.
is fantastic.
actual train spotting and not.
So here's another one from him: racing V12 diesel locomotives in my Nissan Micra.
I'm
Damn
about
right.
to
Nissan
drive my
Micros are
trusty
nice.
Nissan Micra alongside a Class 97 and 37.
He's so happy.
Oh my god! That's electric! Well, it's diesel.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm right next to it! I'm right next to it!
I mean, it's wholesome.
This is so wholesome.
It
and
is.
pure.
Yeah.
He's
Oh,
digging
I
it.
love
He's-
this so much.
He's just a sweet guy, really. Just,
Yeah, he has
Loving
like
his-
just a
loving
great
life.
disposition, doesn't he?
he
Yeah.
does. That just made me happy. Thank you, Harry.
Okay, one more.
Yeah.
So this is called the Elizabeth Line Sprint.
Have you ever found yourself at
Oh, I've
Tottenham
seen
Court
this one.
Road
This one's
Station,
funny.
wanting to go eastbound, and the train you're wanting to get is ready to go? Well, me too. Pretty much every time.
Sometimes you gotta run.
Hi.
Very nice to
Hi.
Oh, it's
Hi.
Kate. Will.
Like, nice to meet you.
He panics.
I hope you enjoy the Elizabeth line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Cheerio.
Clearly, he's doing something right. He's got people going train spotting with him. He really is living his best life. I saw another video of him taking his girlfriend, who is adorable, by the way, on a little train trip that they took together, and that was also very sweet.
I wish he'd come to the United States and see our trains. We don't have a system the same way the English do, but we got some pretty cool ass trains.
Oh well, I mean, he certainly would enjoy. There are a number of fantastic train rides. There's one that goes through Canada that I think is explicitly for people who want to look at the Northern Lights. I saw that being advertised recently.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to try rail
I
travel.
kind of agree with you, Jack. Like, I mean, technology and development of stuff as it relates to us expanding out into our own solar system and the rest of the galaxy. Yeah, I can be that excited, but I mean, it's not as tangible. Like, I don't understand this.
Okay, do you understand this functional? Okay. EV engine
porn?
made from 50 cordless drills is silly and brilliant.
Whatever works.
I get that. Yeah.
Wait, go. What?
It's electric drills.
They
and
took
it's an
50
EV
electric
engine.
drills,
Oh, it's silly and brilliant. Sorry.
lightly modified them.
Okay.
Well, I mean, you've got, let's see if this will work.
Oh, what do we have here?
Oh, it's
Of course
Hey
he's
guys,
Russian.
check this out. We got us a
It's
heap
awesome.
of power drill screwdrivers.
So basically,
Are
they,
special people.
yeah,
yes, I mean, especially
sometimes in Russia, screw drives you. Okay,
when you need it.
so they've got like a crankshaft. They've got a bunch of, rubber bands, belts tied together so that they can join the power from all of these. And they set up a control system. And so they can run all of these at once, and it makes the darn flywheel work.
I mean,
I'm
well,
going to
yeah,
bring them together. Here we go.
but still, it's
Oh, wow.
it's very interesting.
Holy
Other
cow.
than that,
Who told me I won't get burned here?
the poor voiceover dude trying his hardest.
That's just on the one setting.
Probably his son.
Let's see what we get in second gear.
I bet you this thing's torquey as hell. But I mean, obviously, I mean, you have to get a bunch of guys together and they say, you want to do what? Okay. Yeah, sure. Let's do that. Yeah. That sounds like a great way to spend a few weekends.
How do you think we came up with strapping a giant bomb to our asses and flying into the stratosphere?
Yep. So
stupid ideas like this. And you know what? This guy's probably going to turn this into like a little go-kart. And in like a year's time, we're going to be watching a video and be like, we remember this Russian dude.
Yep.
He made a go-kart out of 50 drills.
And then the Russian military will use it as a tank.
Yep.
Yep.
Well, I mean, military stuff motivates all sorts of weird things, right? So have you ever seen this thing called a Unimog, Serenity?
Yeah.
I'm going to need to see what it looks like before
Sora knows of what I'm speaking.
Oh, that thing. Yes.
Yeah, so this started out as a military thing, as most things did in Germany, and it's turned into this amazing little utility vehicle. It's just this great diesel thing that you can use like around the farm, and it's pretty much capable of climbing anything because of the way the weight's distributed.
I feel like these are popular in South Africa because of South Africa's problems. I feel like I've heard about those being popular for that reason.
Yeah, the Unimog community.
My stepfather loved Unimogs so much.
The Unimogs are cool. The Hiluxes are cool.
Yeah, I see the Unimog and I think, hell yeah, I want one of those.
I like the Toyota Land Cruiser and Hilux are really cool. Oh, that's a Mitsubishi.
Yeah.
There's another Mercedes. That's a Sprinter van.
But it's another one of those things that basically started off for war and then moved its way into commerce, as opposed to the American tanks, which started out as farming and ended up, hey, let's do some welding. They went
strap some armor plates.
Yeah, they basically killdozed it.
Well, it was also like Lamborghini. Lamborghini started out as tractors and is still tractors, but then because Ferrari pissed him off, he proceeded to make Lamborghini.
Like Clarkson's Lamborghini tractor.
Yep. That was too big.
I must say, because I had to subscribe to them, the previous video, Garage 54. After the 50 screwdriver thing, his next video is we built a supersized Lada.
Yeah.
I just, see, I knew you would understand.
Nice.
But that channel is so Russian.
Yeah, new Bugbear Turbo.
Well.
The only thing I don't understand is it's a very interesting switcheroo. So here in the States, K-trucks, KEI, have become very, very popular. They're from Japan. And there's a large market for them because in Japan, after a certain number of years... I don't know how it is in Canada. I'm not going to claim to know how it is in Canada. But here in the States, the longer you own the car and the longer you go without accidents and stuff like that, the lower the insurance gets. Japan is the complete opposite. The longer you own an item, the more the insurance goes up. So very often they will flip things out, especially companies will, like K-trucks, which are like little... it's like, take the front end of that Mercedes, make it really, really tiny, and then put a flatbed on the back of it. That's a K-truck. And they become really popular here in the States. Well, it's flip-flopped because a lot of American trucks are now getting really, really popular in other countries. In fact, some of them are even being started to be driven in Japan now. So
there's over the cities?
Oh, almost. Some of them are pretty big.
They're really small. I
know. I know. But still, like, some of them are being driven, like, in places like Korea, Japan. Yeah. Korea's really bad about it. But it's a very interesting kind of switcheroo of dichotomy because, like, you can get a K-truck fairly new, probably less than 10 years old, less than 50,000 miles on it, online for anywhere from $9,000 to $12,000, pay for shipping. And other than dealing with the fact that it's on the opposite side of the other opposite side of the steering wheel's on the other side, that's the only thing you have to deal with. And there's a whole community, like, I'm legit area. If you look it up, there's a whole community for these people. And it's just a very interesting thing.
Well, I have shown some of them, but I don't think it came on.
Sorry, Skep. Are you not feeling well, or are you just tired?
No, I've got something that I need to handle with. I've got a dog situation that is going to take some time to handle. And
well, come back if you can.
Get started. I will, but I doubt that I'll be back because I've got to get everybody settled down.
That's fair.
If I can.
Everything
sorry,
that's got your name on it, I'll
Yeah.
just keep till later. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Go.
All right.
Have a
Thanks
good
a lot. I'll
I
catch you guys
understand the
later.
dog problem. Good luck.
Thank you. See you later.
All right.
Bye.
Interesting note, Serenity. Canadian law states that mini trucks must be at least 15 years old to be legally imported and street legal in Canada.
That's not down here. Down here, they can
That's-
be any age.
The
So-
import is just a little funny how you have to go
Yeah.
about doing it. It's
yeah,
almost
yeah.
easier to buy a machine gun. But yeah,
They're-
it's
They're very small, efficient vehicles. So
Yeah.
even with the importing of parts, it still will probably do you well if you have that purpose.
Well, most of the trucks are made by Nissan, Mitsubishi, Honda, or Toyota, and most of those parts are pretty standardized. Depending on the truck, you can usually intermix them, and they'll still work really well. So there's a flood of parts. It's a very interesting dichotomy of we're flipping cars to each other. I'll take it.
Yeah.
Trade is trade, but it's a very funny thing.
Yeah, I'm looking at one now, $600, like 2.5 kilometers for me for sale.
yeah, and don't confuse this with the shitty discount Amazon imported Chinese trucks,
Oh,
which
yeah,
are
no,
new.
those-
That's
no,
not
fuck
what we're
those.
talking about. We're
No.
talking about something that usually would be $12,000-ish in Japan when you buy it new.
Yeah.
Like it's a thing of quality, but it's scaled down.
Although I am impressed with how much China's paying people off now. Like, the amount of social media bullshit I'm seeing from car people. It's like, look at this luxury Chinese van. It's like, yeah, but it'll explode in fire in 3 months. Why would I want to touch that?
Yeah, no, it's made of Chinesium. I don't want to.
Yeah.
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 It's like, at least with Japanese stuff, it's either made in Japan, made in a factory here in the States. Hell, I'm not that far from 2 of the factories. Or it's made in Mexico. So, kind of trust Japanese cars a little bit more than I do. A lot of Japanese cars are actually made here in the States now that they even sell to Japan, which is hilarious.
Yep. So, Sora, we've talked about this before, and I can't remember if this is something you sort of agreed with. My general feeling is that if we're going to compete with the world, we need to, especially for the students who are on an academic track, they need to just get used to the fact that there's going to be work that needs to get done. But they've passed a law finally that tries to lighten the homework load on high schoolers. And I really don't like
I mean,
this.
I get both sides of it. I do get both sides of it.
I do. But that's-
I don't know what the homework is like in California. So from what I remember in high school, I remember complaining about homework, but I don't ever remember having really that much homework. Okay, like we had homework every day. So the way my high school was set up is we had alternate days. So you have A's and B days, and then Fridays would switch. So your classes, you would have one day in between classes. So you technically had a day and a half to do your homework, right? Or whatever, 2 days to do your homework for the next class. So that ended up being more than enough time. I took one AP course, and that had the most homework. That's because we finished 2 months ahead of the general curriculum, high school curriculum. So everything was more condensed. But beyond that, I don't, and I wasn't like I was some studious person or anything like that. I felt like, from what I remember, even in the moment, it was fairly balanced.
yeah, and
I'm
sorry, go ahead.
homework is not great. Now, my issue is that if you're removing the homework, does that mean that the quality of education in the classroom increases? Which I kind of don't believe it will, from what you hear about what's happening in education. Definitely in the States, definitely here. Homework is supposed to help you understand things. For example, in math and science, you have to practice this stuff to get the theories down, the rules down. Without that, how are you supposed to understand? How are you supposed to write an exam? Right? Without this practice. Now, if the issue is that the reason why we're reducing the homework is homework doesn't get done because there's no parental involvement or guardian involvement in the children's education, then that's a systemic issue that's not going to be fixed by reducing the amount of homework. And that's a fundamental break in the idea of education. Now, you can't fix that overnight. But no, I honestly, I think this is not a good idea. Now, if there is, like, I remember when I was in high school, there was a self-deletion epidemic in Ireland amongst high schoolers who were so stressed about getting into university, about the exams they had to do. I would have been in like 10th grade, something like that, around that time period. So there had been a ton of kids around 16 years of age or so in Ireland, just they couldn't handle the pressure. So the what was happening at school, at home, and all that, trying to get into post-secondary, that they went through. I know it happened in Korea as well. So you hear about that, and I can understand maybe that's where they're coming from. They're trying to say maybe they're seeing this uptick in harm, self-harm or something like that. But I just... Yeah, I don't necessarily think this is a good idea. It's the same thing like they are reducing, they want to get rid of the grading scheme. They got rid of certain provincial exams. They got rid of so much stuff that just seems really stupid. Because, like, for example, how are you supposed to know what level your education is if you don't have a grading scale, right? To know where you are, what you need to improve on. Same thing with homework. How do you know? Because you can self-test. You know from, okay, I can do this type of homework, 20 minutes, no problem, easy peasy. I'll use myself as an example. Anything English where you had to interpret something, not creative write, but interpret something wrote. I could spew crap on a page that got me a decent grade, no problem. I would cry and take 2 weeks to finish one lot of math homework because my brain just could not. I could spend hours at the table and it was just not getting into my brain. If I didn't have that little amount of homework, I would have like failed out by 9th grade in math.
I think
so. This This is not good.
Well, I just don't like the government putting limits on it because it seems like this might cause more harm than help.
It will cause harm. And the thing is that if there are issues, like they paint the whole state, right, with one big brush. So if their issue is, we've noticed in specific areas with specific children, specifically having this educational issue. Well, okay, then focus on that small group individually. That should be on the purview of that school. Make it easier to apply for extra academic support. Maybe your school needs extra funding. Maybe you need a resource teacher or something else. And I know that they just don't have the money, or at least they say they don't have the money or whatever is going on there. But to just reduce amongst everybody?
Well, I do have a counter argument, which I think Serenity and Functional might want a piece of, which is that if you have each teacher loading you down with tons and tons of stuff, like suppose you're going to go into the trades. Maybe the amount of American literature homework that you need to receive doesn't need to be as great as somebody who's going into an academic track. And also, if you're going into an academic track, suppose you're going to go into STEM, but you can't do all of the STEM homework you have to do because somebody's assigning so much in American literature. Because I had this exact problem happen to me at one point, where I had this American literature teacher who was of the opinion that for every hour in class, you needed 3 hours of homework. She thought she was preparing you for college that way. And
that's a fuck off.
And it became a pretty huge burden. It was the only C I ever got because I just basically couldn't afford to give a crap about her opinion. I was going full-time to college at the same time anyway, so I didn't care. I know that's me. I may have been a weird case. But, she was assigning all of this homework. And at a certain point, it's like, okay, well, what's the bare minimum I have to do to just get these credits? And I deliberately got a C in her stupid course because I actually was diagnosed with exhaustion by a medical doctor and told to take 2 weeks off because the amount of homework she was giving in that one class was more than I was dealing with in calculus and differential equations. It was just crazy.
Well, that is not a homework issue. That is a teacher thinking she's the only teacher issue.
Yeah, and
This
the parents
is a
need to
lack
deal with
of
her.
respect
Yep.
of that teacher for her colleagues and her students. This is you have this in university too, where one teacher says that, yeah, you're paying all this tuition, but you're only attending my class. So that is a respect issue, and I'm sorry you went through that. If that happens, I know in college is different. There's not much you can do. You can go to a dean. You can try to do that nowadays.
Or you can drop the
Kids
class, but within the drop
Yeah.
period. Yeah.
But in terms of high school, this is where, again, parental and guardian support should come in. And I know not every student has that. But at some point, somebody, talk to somebody, man. Like, bring this to the attention. Like, listen. But to your point about people who are going to trades, well, are they needing to take that kind of high level, like American literature? Is that something they need to graduate? Because if they know they're going to trades, then why are they taking that course?
Well, I mean, there are prerequisites because everybody sort of needs a basic liberal arts education, and just because it's part of the glue that keeps society working. So we all have sort of a common frame of reference that we can talk about. I think a little bit of that is good, but I'm not saying that they should let up on the homework for the trade people on a more of a career track because they're going to goof off. It's so that they actually have time to do the internships and the work that they need to do in that track. Because for everybody going to high school, not everything's going to be equally weighted. Because everybody is got some kind of plans about when they come out. Sorry, I don't mean to beat this issue to death. It just annoys me. I just don't want the government having the authority to do this. Because like Sora said, the parents should basically go talk to the school administration and get this sorted out. Go ahead, Serenity.
The issue comes with, is the homework there to actually reinstate what is being taught in class? Or is it just the teacher being an asshole?
Yeah.
Because I can guarantee, West Virginia doesn't rank very high, but there were quite a few teachers who either didn't want to be there, because there's a lot of teachers who are, a lot of them don't try to act like they're not that way, but they are, and just gave homework. Because we had a mixture of, you could either do 45-minute long classes or you do hour and a half. If after an hour and a half class I have homework, I'm not going to be very happy or willing to do it. Because if you can't teach for an hour and then give me 30 minutes to do the homework, that's a you problem, not a me problem. There, some people in chat, one person said that they had a study before and a homeroom periods. We had homeroom periods at my school too, where it was in the morning, where you had 45 minutes. It's what is the homework that is being given? How much is the homework being given? And is it actual purpose to reinstate the things that the teacher taught? Or is it to pass the buck to the parents because the teacher doesn't want to teach it? Mm-hmm. That's my issue. Because I hear a lot of teachers talk on social media about, well, your babies can't read. It's well, yeah, because the parents are working. That's the reason why we start them in pre-K, is so this way you can help the children learn how to read. You are the teacher. You need to teach. Yes, you need aid from the parents, absolutely. But you went to school to teach these kids how to do these things. Why are you not doing your job? Why do you care more about putting a phone in front of you so this way you can record yourself and not visually record your students, but can record them talking so this way you can post it on TikTok? That's the issue that I have with some of this. I understand where this politician is coming from a little bit. It's why are you giving them 2.5 hours? Most of these kids are getting at home around 4 or 5 o'clock. Then they have to have dinner. Then they have to spend minimum 2.5 hours doing work, which means they're not done till about 7:30 or 8, maybe 9 if they're not that good at it. Then that leaves no time to do anything else. You can't have any extracurriculars at that point, or you're going to have to fail at something. You can't play baseball. You can't play football. You can't do your homework. So it's just.
How are you going to do that science fair project? How
yeah,
are you gonna,
or how in some cases, and some of these kids are foster kids. Some of them have to start building money up for when the system not fully kicks them out, because you can get vouchers and live in a halfway house till you're 25. But they have, or they need to help their parents, because some of them come from parents who they're just don't have a good enough job to be able to pay for the families. Like, there's, once again, I'm a middle path person. There's a middle path to help with this, but it's not, the homework and the amount of it is a symptom, not the disease. The disease is
Yes.
teachers and other things that need to be looked at. Yes, the parents still need to be looked at. Yes, in a perfect world, parents would be completely aware of what they have to do when they have kids. Absolutely. But the teacher's job is to teach. And if you're incapable of teaching, and the only way you can supposedly drive home some of this stuff is by sending home homework that you know half your kids aren't going to do, it's, a lot of people talk about countries like Japan and Korea where these kids are going to school till 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Then they're going to study halls. And a lot of these kids sadly end up doing the unaliving thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not fair to those kids either. It's finding a middle ground. Like, I agree, Harry, I don't want the government having a say in stuff, but at the same time, if the teachers aren't doing their job the way they should, and someone needs to smack them upside the head with a ruler and go, you can't give homework any now, mother effers, you actually have to go over it in class. I kind of want to go with that, too.
Here's a thought I think you'll like.
Okay.
We'll see. I'm going to run this up the flagpole, see if you salute. What they should do is in high school and in junior high school, they should do things more like the way they do it in junior college and university. And there should be a syllabus at the front of every course.
We had one in high school.
Well, but not all teachers do this, but there should definitely be a syllabus that should say, how are you going to be graded? What is sort of the deal with attendance? All of that stuff should be, what are the expectations about homework? And you say a typical student.
I had that from grade 4 on until I graduated high school.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you know ahead of time what you're signing up for and it's an elective, at least that gives you some ability to go, well, I can't take this class and participate in after-school sports. I mean, you know that there's only so much of you to go around because you can't do everything. Nobody can do everything.
Well, and once again, it's a parent thing, too, because some parents, sadly, live vicariously through their children. So there's my son needs to do football. My daughter needs to do cheerleading. So there's also that part. But sorry, go ahead, Sora.
Yeah.
No, to actually continue with Harry's idea, because I do like that. Have it added so that for every year, whenever course selection is, I don't know if that's done during the summer for you guys or just before the end of the school year.
It's at least most states that I lived in, it was done before the end of the previous school year.
Perfect. So before that time, or at that time, that is when you should be handing out the syllabus. These are the classes that are going to be available come September that you're signing up for. This is the class that you're wanting. You now have a week to talk to those teachers and get, or if you have friends in the upper grades or in the class or whatever, figure it out. You have 1 or 2 weeks, figure it out. Do you think you're going to be able to do it? And I know that seems like putting a lot of pressure on high schoolers, but guess what? That's not that difficult. You can figure it out. And then if it turns out once you're in that class, it ends up being harder than you expected and you didn't time it, that's different. Things can happen. But you get those syllabi, you can do all sort of planning ahead of time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, my high school, what they did was, and this is a high school of 3,000 kids, they had every last week of school, they printed out a big book. And you were told the classes that you needed to get the credits to graduate, and then you were told how many electives you could have. And it was a small descriptor, and you were told the teacher who would normally teach it. You weren't given the syllabus, but you were given a descriptor. And most kids, unless you're real freshers, you knew you had heard stories about certain teachers. That's how you did it. And if you need to talk to one of the guidance counselors, you could, or if you need to talk, because this was usually done in homeroom. You could talk to your teacher, because the homerooms were usually about 15 to 20 kids. The teacher, who'd often been there for years, would be very happy to answer questions. That's how we did it. There was also, the first week of school, if a class you were taking did not fit, you could go and talk to guidance counselor and get the class changed. So that's how we did it. I have no idea how California does it. And California almost seems like it needs to take a book out of some schools.
Oh,
off
it's
the
great.
East Coast.
It's great. Everything in California is great.
Woo! But that's kind of what we did. I would truly be shocked if California schools, at least around kids that were my age and younger, didn't do something similar, because I don't see why West Virginia would be the one to do it and California wouldn't, but I've seen weirder shit. So...
Well, I'm looking at stuff that we should save for when Skep gets back. And we still have plenty of stuff we could talk about.
Oh, yeah.
You know, plenty of stuff we could talk about. So there's this. Pooping before exercise has an incredible effect on performance. I feel like just offering that up without comment.
I feel like I can see the logic in that. I can see it.
If you're looking to improve your performance both cognitively and physically, you're going to need to start by giving a crap. No, quite literally.
But I'm ching.
Yeah, the latest research involved 13 triathletes, a cognitive test called the Stroop test, and a magnesium oxide laxative. Well, there you go. Good times.
Woohoo!
The most striking finding of the study is the unequivocal improvement observed in the Stroop test performance for all participants consuming magnesium oxide, writes team of, the laxative. Yeah, magnesium, it's a fun thing. In high enough doses, it causes all sorts of things to happen. I mean, in terms of your ability to concentrate, not being distracted by certain bodily functions, I think is kind of a plus.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but aren't you lifting more? Like, more weight?
That's closer to your center of gravity, so it's not as much of a pull.
Well, I do think it just feels like the kind of thing where you got money to do what? Doesn't this seem like an obvious result to everybody here?
Not necessarily, because it could have found something different.
Maybe.
So it's one of those, it's like, I think it gives you an idea, because it also gives the idea of the magnesium oxide.
Well, I'm not against basic research, not at all, because you never know where an amazing result's going to come from. But
they called it the Stroop test.
The Stroop test.
It's out of Taipei, so hey, man, Taiwan wants to go to it, do it.
Yep. So I think this one is also a Sora, because I believe you are the only one here that travels a lot. And I don't know about a lot, but a lot compared to the rest of us.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think the only person who travels more who's traveled more is Skep.
I don't get on airplanes very often, but Sora does. So you're going to understand this. This is filed under Why We Can't Have Nice Things.
Oh, no.
Fury at wheelchair loophole brings being exploited on Southwestern flights more miracles than the Vatican. So.
Oh, yeah, they get first placement.
Yeah.
I've heard about that.
It turns out that if you need a wheelchair, you get first place, getting onto the plane. So Southwest Airlines.
Is this the picture of the lineup of like 20 different wheelchairs?
Probably.
Like that?
Yep. This is nothing. There was somebody who posted a picture. I saw it on Twitter, and it's basically they were stuck. The flight was delayed almost an hour because there was an army of people in wheelchairs back to back waiting to get on, and the poster said something like it was a miracle, like the wheelchair would get to the plane door and the person would just stand up and walk onto the plane.
Yeah.
And
well, or when they'd get off the plane.
How dare you? You don't know there's so many unseen disabilities, like hidden disabilities, hidden diseases you can't know. And a lot of it was obesity. that's the hidden and unhidden.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, the thing is, I think Southwest has started to change it, but originally Southwest, you didn't have to reserve a seat, so it was first come, first serve.
Yep.
So if you get seated first as a wheelchair user, you get the best seat.
Yep.
Because you're the first on the plane, because they don't have first class on Southwest planes. I have been on a Southwest plane. I like Southwest.
Well, there's usually short flights. You don't need first class. What would you do? I mean...
Dude, you know as well as I do, there's more people with money than sense.
I know.
They would do it to take selfies and go, I'm in first class. You know as well as I would do.
The Southwestern passenger reported seeing 30 wheelchair users board. Here's a photo they took of many of them waiting to get on board the flight to Tampa. Oh, and there's just a picture of an airplane. But apparently when they went to get off, only 2 people needed wheelchairs. Yep. And this is
It's
why.
the electromagnetic powers of the.
Yeah, and this is
Light.
why we can't have nice things because of
No, I
people
mean, I
like
hate
this.
So
Well, there-
okay, this. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I'll
Go
say it
ahead,
real
sorry.
fast. There's so many like amusement parks and airlines that are now revoking a lot of special needs statuses for people.
Because they have to.
Well, yeah, no, I'm not disagreeing with it.
I mean, we would like
But
that they
it's-
didn't because we want to be a generous, caring society. At least I do.
Yeah.
But there's so many people taking advantage of the system. It's like, well, I'm sorry, you're collateral damage because there's way more people who are being assholes than people who actually need it, and there's going to be some collateral damage. But we're sorry.
Well,
We
that's the
feel
thing,
bad
though,
about
is-
doing this to the two people that needed the wheelchair access, but no, this can't
Well,
go on.
Well, it's like there's amusement parks who used to like give special like you could skip the line to go to the front if you had a disability, and it was not like big roller coasters, but like the easier rides and stuff like that. And a lot of them, Universal, Disney World, Six Flags, Busch Gardens, have all started to revoke that and make the process a lot harder, to the point where people who have actual disabilities can't do it anymore. Yeah.
I actually recently listened to a podcast that brought this up. So basically, for Disney World families, so they had a specific program, but now it's going to be it's for anybody who has like generalized anxiety, whatever, so they basically could sit somewhere else and then are brought in. So it's a little it's different than the fast pass, lightning pass, whatever, but it was specifically for people who have these kind of
Which
non-neurotypical kind of experiences, I guess. But now they have made it so it's only if you have to, first of all, buy your ticket, then you have to apply for this. You have to prove the child or the adult or whatever has autism, and autism is the only thing that they will accept.
Mm-hmm.
But you cannot apply for it, and then they will either give you the green light to get the special pass that will allow you to this, or you'll be denied. But you won't know until you've already purchased the ticket and gone through this whether you'll be accepted. Which means by the time you get a denial, you cannot return your ticket because they don't do refunds. So in a lot of and you cannot get pre-approved and then buy a ticket. So they've overcompensated, trying to prevent everybody doing this. Like basically trying to say that, oh, actually, yes, I have XYZ, because how are you going to prove that? How no one's going to ask me to prove it. Well, now they're asking you to prove it.
Well, the thing is also, it was used by people who are like, I have anxiety and I can't stand in line.
Yeah.
Well, queue up.
Yeah, it was the thing of like, why are you going to an amusement park that normally has lines that are leading out the door for rope drop?
Yeah,
Why
you
are
might be in the wrong place. It's like going to a heavy metal concert. I don't like loud noises. They make me, they startle me.
And they turn down the...
Well, maybe Rammstein isn't, or Steen, whatever it's called, is maybe not the place you should be.
Or going to a rap concert and wanting them to stop saying the N-word.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like,
Neighbor?
guys.
Yeah, neighbor.
Sure, we'll go with that.
It's neighbor. Don't be racist.
Yeah, don't say that. Don't say the ER.
Yeah.
Don't say the A.
Yeah, don't put a hard R at the end. Everything's stupid. Anyway. Oh, yeah, I guess you guys were talking about Aubrey Plaza's husband died?
Yeah, he committed suicide today.
Yeah.
Kind of like, yeah.
Yeah, don't do that.
I don't know,
Please.
really like a fan or anything, but like I'm a fan of her like work, and that's kind of feel for her losing.
No, it's
Hey,
terrible.
Aubrey.
It's terrible. I mean, we don't know what was involved, right? Because obviously there's all sorts
they
of
haven't
private
mentioned
details.
details. They just said it was definitely suicide.
Well, like for instance, there was a guy here in California, pretty famous graphic designer. I think his name was Rick Tharp, and he was a very successful graphic design guy, and he unalived himself. I think it was on the Golden Gate Bridge, and the reason he did it is because it turned out, we found out later, is because he had absolutely debilitating tinnitus. And you might think, oh, well, that's not a reason to unalive yourself. Well, I've never had to live with the kind of tinnitus that would make me think about jumping off the Golden Gate Bridge. You just don't know what people are dealing with, what kind of thing it could be. I feel really bad for her. And it's obviously a waste of life and potential. And I don't mean to be all sappy about it, but yeah, this is terrible. I mean, it's terrible anytime people do stuff like this. Well, almost every time.
Yeah, there's a few people in the world.
There's a few people that probably,
if they wanted a hand, like give them a hand.
Yeah, this way to the pod. Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure we'll find out more than this than we want to know before too long. That's the way these things almost always work out. Anyway, sorry, I don't know. I got sidetracked there.
On a positive note, what's his name? Jesus Christ! Training day. Oh, Denzel Washington got the Medal of Freedom today.
Oh, sweet.
Like the only deserving person, but like I was like, hey, cool. He's a good actor and does a lot of community work. He's a good man.
Yeah.
Congratulations to him.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of wasn't exactly on board with him taking over the role of the Equalizer. But honestly, over time, I just decided, oh, this is basically a different franchise that just has kept the name, so I don't care anymore.
Mm.
Do you remember? Did you ever see the TV show?
Yep.
Yeah, it was great.
It really wasn't, the remake really wasn't Equalizer. It was just kind of like the name, just to give it that veneer or that initial sort of like label.
Yeah.
It's like what they do with Star Trek. It's not Star Trek. They just put the label Star Trek.
Oh, but that new
communicators.
That new TV series really was a ripoff, though, with the strong lady of color taking over for him.
Oh, I didn't see that one. I saw the one with Denzel.
Oh God, the TV one. I mean, it was a really good actress too. It's just that there's just so much cringe that I can't take it. I just can't. I want the old white guy driving the Jag. Who was it? Sora?
No. I thought we were talking about the Star Trek.
Oh, what about Star Trek?
Sorry.
Was it Queen Latifah?
The strong black woman taking over the old white guy.
Yeah.
It applies to Star Trek.
Yeah, they did a version of the Equalizer with Queen Latifah.
What the hell?
Yeah.
I would have never even, like, that wasn't on my radar, but, like, I would have never watched that.
Let's see, who's still here? Has Serenity stepped away? Yeah, usually this is dog time for her. Okay. Let's see, what can we do? Let's do something cringy or something fun. What can we do? Do we have fun? Oh, how about cringy? We can do cringy. You're going to like this. Let's see. Give me a moment here. No. Okay. The most insane thing I've seen in my entire life. So here's a bunch of cheerleaders doing their thing. Audio okay?
Yeah.
Today, our fellow citizens, our way of life, our very freedom came under attack.
So George Bush is talking about
What?
9/11.
In a series of deliberate and deadly
Can you full screen it?
attacks.
What?
Can you expand it, full screen it?
If I full screen it, it's going to go full screen on my display.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Let
then.
me see if I can
Don't
make
worry,
it
don't worry,
a
don't
little
worry, don't worry.
bigger. There, is that a
That's
little better?
perfect. That's perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
The victims were in airplanes,
Are they?
were in their offices,
Are they doing that?
secretaries, businessmen and women,
There's the towers.
military and federal workers, moms and dads, friends and neighbors. Thousands of lives were suddenly ended by evil, despicable acts of terror.
I know September 11 is not funny, but this is awful.
Airplanes flying into buildings,
This is the best
fires
terrible
burning,
thing I've ever seen.
huge
Yep.
structures collapsing.
I'm having a hard time
Disbelief.
understanding if this is them paying a tribute or
Yeah.
is it satire?
No, it's a tribute.
I mean, the Pentagon's about to get hit.
They're doing this
What the
extremely poorly conceived thing in earnest.
Thank God someone filmed this.
Terrible
Filmed
sadness.
it.
And the quiet,
Yeah.
unyielding anger.
There's the Pentagon. Oh no!
These acts of mass murder were intended to frighten our nation into chaos and retreat. But they have failed.
Oh, good, they have a
Our
smoke
country
machine.
is strong. A great people has been moved to defend a great nation. Terrorist attacks can shake the foundations of our biggest
And now we'll
buildings,
build the Freedom
but
Towers.
they cannot touch the
Yay!
foundation of America. These acts shatter steel, but they
You really don't hate your
Ammo, I
government
need to put
because
that
it took them 9 months to like rebuild the Pentagon, and like there are still parts of your country, like Flint, Michigan, that don't have clean water. Like
Yeah, those are different
Still.
piles of money. But
you still have the
just
Palestine Ohio derailment.
yeah, I mean, no.
I love this so much. This is a failed drama teacher who just took over this.
Yeah. Should it
Yeah,
be
I'm torn.
said?
I still wanna
Should it be
laugh.
said by me? Should it be said by me now? And I don't think they passed any of those. You know, it's obviously fine to be patriotic. It's obviously fine to be pissed off about 9/11. But I don't think having a bunch of high school teenagers reenact flying bodies into towers of people. I don't know, with the Enya playing
Can you
too.
send me the
Jesus,
link, please?
just
Hey Harry, can
Yeah?
you send me the link to this, please?
absolutely. I'll put it in the chat for everybody to enjoy.
Nice.
There we go. All right. See, Serenity's going to be sad she missed that. Okay. Let's see. What else do we want to do? Oh, I like making fun of... God, is Serenity back yet? Let me know as soon as she's back. Okay. Because I don't want her to miss some of this other cringe that's coming up. So they're saying 36.6 degrees centigrade is no longer the average human body temperature.
Okay.
And they're claiming that it's just that medicine and health and sanitation are so awesome that people don't tend to run low fevers as much as they used to, and that the actual human body temperature normally is less than this now. I'm having a little trouble sort of accepting their rationalization, but maybe I'm just being stupid. I mean, you take your temperature sometimes. What is normal for you? I mean, I take it and it comes up 98.6. I go, yeah, I guess I'm good. Am I just wrong about this? Is there a lot more variety in people?
I'm not a hypochondriac, so I do not take my temperature.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You just don't take it?
I don't take it. I mean, I can tell when I'm sick.
Mhm.
So unless I'm dying, there's no point in taking my temperature.
I know Functional doesn't take his. I'm just going to bet money he doesn't take his.
My temperature? No,
Yeah.
not
No.
a psycho.
See, I actually check my own cholesterol, so I'm the opposite of this. I figure more data is good.
I do blood tests regularly. Yeah.
Yeah. But you don't
That's-
look at the results. You got to agonize over the results. See, that's what the data collection's part of. No,
Well,
don't,
because
don't do any of that.
because they actually did many years ago, like probably 25. The doctor said, "Oh my God, like if you're in the average, your cholesterol is like off the charts." And sure, it was a little high, but it was also high. Like I'm on the high end of natural levels of cholesterol or whatever, and even though watching what I ate a little bit more, it was still really high, but it came down quite a bit, cutting out fast, obviously finishing post-secondary education and being in college where you're constantly rush. We were just talking about that. So much work to do, not enough time to even sleep. What do you think I'm doing? I'm grabbing McDonald's or KFC or whatever and getting right back to work. So being able to cut that out and going to more balanced diet, like it did come down, but I was still way higher than the average. And so in finding that out, they were like, okay, cool. And we're still just going to keep monitoring it. So it's something that has come up that has been, pertinent to me that I do regularly look at. But I mean, what's the temperature going to tell me? I'm hot, I'm cold. I can tell you that now.
Yeah.
Whereas Elwyn's a bloody inferno. She's a furnace. Like it's like I'm the probe and I'm skirting around the sun trying not to get burnt. She runs hot. Her temperature is probably like 42 degrees or something.
Wow. Amazing. As
Being a
long as
little
nobody makes
hyperbolic,
me wear like socks to bed, everything's going to be fine. I just can't do it. I know I told you about when I was a kid and they bought me footy pajamas and I couldn't take it through the night. I got up in the middle of the night and got some scissors out of the kitchen drawer and cut them off and then went back to bed. I got in trouble for that a little bit until I explained that it was like torture.
I would wake up and the little footy would be like soaking wet.
Yeah.
And because the footy part is rubber, it's not fabric, it's not absorbent. There'd be puddles in the bottom of it.
It's terrible.
Disgusting.
It's the worst.
That's why at night I can't sleep unless it's like cold. Like it has I working in the industry, if I went into the walk-in, I'd be like, I could fall asleep right now. Oh my god. I like it cold.
Cold is pretty great.
I could always put more blanket on, but if it's too warm for me, it's just like I gotta toss and turn all night and get. You can still fall asleep, but you don't get the restful sleep you need. It's more I'm just unconscious for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I hate it. That's why in the wintertime, it's actually the worst because in the building that I live in, it's a boiler heater. So it's all running through the building. So the entire building gets warm.
Mm-hmm.
And there's only so many windows you can open. Hate it.
Yeah, well.
No more footy pajamas.
I have told you about my nemesis, right? Of course I have. My nemesis was Elizabeth Holmes, the woman who went to jail for basically defrauding all those investors.
Who has a deeper voice than I do.
Crazy eyes.
So I found a compilation of cursed 2010s commercials, and I have it queued up just to this one right here.
What is wrong with modern medicine?
People don't even know that they have a basic human right to be able to get access to
that deep voice thing is freaking me out.
Information about themselves and their own bodies. And
like
we'd
a
like to
valley
see
girl.
a world in which every person gets access to this type of basic testing. And the types of tests that are done are ones that provide insight into the onset of disease.
People should have free access to healthcare,
God, so creepy.
Some of these commercials did not age particularly well, like this one.
Diddy, how do you come up with so many incredible ultra premium flavors for Sora? And I simply tell him,
Remember when he was free and the first thing that didn't pop into your head was 55-gallon drum of baby oil when you think about this guy?
I think we live,
Yeah, that's just pretty much cursed. That is a cursed thing. And then, of course, the Elizabeth Holmes thing was just lots of fun. Oh, yeah, that just didn't age well, did it? No.
Serenity's back.
Serenity's back.
For her.
Yeah, what you missed, let's see. What you missed, Serenity, was some cheerleaders doing a reenactment of the 9/11 attacks. By flying bodies into towers of cheerleaders.
I'm sure that one
was fantastic. I love it so much.
So other things that I found that I'm sticking to stuff that I think I know Skep will not care about here. Oh, no, this is just
nothing to see here. 98.6 is the average.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily normal. It's a whole hoopty-doopty thing.
We were talking about how they're saying that the average is no longer.
It's actually lower than it used to be.
Yeah, I'm one of those people. I averagely sit at 97, almost equally.
Nice.
I drive my doctor nuts.
Well, it used to be that you would think that people have an infection if they have a low temperature, and that isn't necessarily true for everybody.
Oh, I know. That's what I mean. Like, I would drive him insane because he's always like, what the fuck? Not literally, because he's been my GP since I was like 6. But he was just always so confused.
Do you want to see an ad for Christian dating? Sure you do.
Go for it. Is it an actual Christian dating ad?
Yeah.
Who is it? Barb. What are you doing? Nancy, can you even believe how amazing much we learned at one weekend at Acquire the Fire? About life and love and happiness and security in our faith? And, of course, sex. Nancy, my precious moments are listening. I mean, the absence of sex, silly? Remember courting?
This doesn't seem like an ad that would get anybody to go take that course, does it? Because no, this is obviously aimed at the parents, right? So the girls have their little conversation, and then like her hunky guy that she's hot for calls up.
That when Kurt
switches
calls.
over.
Hey, baby.
Kurt.
Old school call.
What are you calling for?
You called me, or am I answering the call of the wild?
Kurt.
I don't think I understand. What's that squeaking noise?
I'm sorry, that must be my deltoid rubbing up against the phone cord.
He's such a sweaty hunk of beefy machismo. Remember what the Word of God said. Look, Kurt, I don't think this is going to work out.
I knew it! You tramp! You act all friendly like I'm gonna get something out of it, and then you clam up like some holy prude.
Wait right there! How dare you demean my Christian beliefs? You need to believe in something bigger than your bicep, buddy. I dare you to treat women with respect. In the meantime, I dare you to be a man.
And that's exactly the way it would play out, right?
Oh God.
Wasn't that
I
terrible?
died a little inside.
I know. Here's dating do's and don'ts from 1949.
Yes, Mom, I've got it.
Right after the war.
What's that?
Yep.
Oh, yes, the ticket he told me about. Well, let's see what he has to say. Here's the latest on my broken...
I love these old video reels. They amuse the hell out of me because it's such a, not so much because it's wholesome, it's just because they're just like incredibly naive. I mean, we've all talked to people who were alive during these times, and they've told us about the kinds of things that they did, or at least I have. And this weird, saccharine, glossed over version of reality is just kind of quaint. Because this is not the way people behave typically. This whole Make America Great Again thing.
A date. I haven't asked her yet, but I'd like to take Aunt Davis to the High Teen Carnival.
Oh, Anne's a nice girl, but a date.
I love the fact that he's running the choice of Anne by his aunt or something like that. It's like, is this a thing that really happened?
From stories I heard from the middle class and lower, yeah.
Yeah,
We heard Anne was a loose woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we heard Anne was a loose woman.
From who? Your father. Wait, what?
So the first actual date that I went on, actual date, you could actually call it that, was it was a double date with a friend of mine, and he and I and these two fine young ladies went to see a play together. And we weren't even old enough to drive, so we had to be driven.
No.
What a little operator I was.
Yeah, I've had that happen. Yeah.
It was extremely wholesome, though. It was lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the kind of thing, though, is like, is there a bit of saccharine filter to this? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But there was also people who legitimately wanted to be like that and just kind of wanted to enjoy stuff. Now, was it absolutely perfect? No, but it's like my grandmother talked about it and stuff like that. From everything, the way she talked and my grandfather backed her up, it was pretty much like that.
Yeah. I think healthy messaging about these sorts of things is fine. I mean, this is certainly preferable to the other stuff, but I just sort of love I love everything about this. I love the bad acting.
Yeah.
The bad acting, the poor production values. It's pretty great. Have you guys seen the ghost hunting show? What is it? Paranormal Home Inspection?
Yeah. I think I've heard of that.
Oh, that's a fantastic show. Because the production values are just garbage. It only lasted for one season.
Is that the one? Is that the one where there's a guy saying, "Oh yeah, this place is totally haunted," and then the guy who's the actual home inspector is like, "Yeah."
And then the home inspector.
Bad pipes.
Yeah, here, let me see if I can.
Oh, it's a loose floorboard, and then he's just like.
Let me see if I can bring this up.
Well, it's like the other fun ones that are fun to watch, which are more modern, are the frickin' Bigfoot hunters. Those nutbags, Jesus. It's like, let me spray sexual hormone that supposedly is for Bigfoots around where I'm standing.
Oh God.
I think it's big feet would be the plural. No, I'm just kidding.
Very dark in here.
I've seen a lot of things down drains, but I've never seen anything like this. There's things down there that are just kind of scary.
Yeah, this is a great show.
He's like, I can't see down here. He's like, yeah, the breaker's off.
My dog sleeps at the foot of my bed, so I thought, oh, it's the dog starting to growl again. And then seconds later, I realized that I actually didn't have the dog in the house.
Oh, no!
My neighbor is a sexual deviant.
All of a sudden, we heard this horrific noise upstairs. I had a beautiful fishbowl, and it had...
And it's just, and then they bring in the home inspector guy.
After a thorough inspection of the more routine residential trouble areas, Brian is given a detailed list of hotspots documented by Michelle from our homeowner.
So the first thing on our checklist is something about a fishbowl, and that was in the kitchen. What? There's our fishbowl. Now, that looks like a newer bowl, obviously. The old one, according to my notes from Michelle, kind of looked like a brandy glass. Now, that glass is really thin.
A hairline crack, lots of water pressure, vibration from the street noise. It's a no-brainer.
So that one is...
I love it so much.
It's pretty great. It's pretty great. I watched another one of these episodes from further into the season, and the common theme is every scene involving the woman talking about her life, she had a glass of wine in her hand. I mean, it's like one of my friends felt somebody push her down the stairs. It's like, well, the friend went upstairs to go to the bathroom after drinking a bunch of wine, and then felt a little unsteady at the top of her staircase in her shitty 100-year-old house. It's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure wine explained every single paranormal thing that happened in that episode. It's amazing. I love these shows. Do you like hate watch stuff like I do? Because I sure do like hate watching stuff.
I can't, because it drives me nuts, because my mother watches this stuff legitimately. Not this stuff. She's got better sense than this. But she watches Ancient Aliens, and I want to hurt people just standing in the room listening to it while I'm waiting for her to get something, and I'm just like, I want to stab everyone involved. I want to hurt them, you lying, grifting pieces of crap. Or the Oak Island nutbags, or Skinwalker Ranch psychos. Or they're all grifters. Yeah. All of them.
Well, we're in like season 3 of Skinwalker Ranch, and I guess there's like some area in the sky that they can't approach, and they keep trying to send drones up there.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay.
Oh no, the funniest when I was in there and I was like trying not to laugh, and my mom said, yeah, I know. Because even she recognizes a little bit of the absurdity, was that you had one of these guys who was supposedly military, and they're like, that's a Black Hawk. I could hear a Black Hawk. What's the helicopter they show? It's a commercial helicopter, like one of the ones that's painted up. It's nowhere near a Black Hawk.
Okay.
And I'm sitting there going, that's not a Black Hawk. Like, that's not the full, like, that's not the holding several people. That's like maybe 3 or 4 people at most.
Okay, I don't feel like my dating stuff really hit. Because sometimes I go, this amuses me, it'll amuse other people, and it doesn't amuse them as much as it should. So I'm going to pull out the big guns. Big guns. Stairway to Stardom. 1983, New York Public Access Television.
Oh,
Buckle up.
No.
No.
Stay tuned, because Stairway to Stardom is next with Frank Massey.
What?
On the stairway to stardom.
Yeah, baby.
You see tomorrow starts today. On the stairway to stardom.
So what do you think of that?
Is this like karaoke or?
Karaoke.
Actors performing for you. But there's more, so much more, and it's all right here for you.
I'm not really sure what he's miming there. I almost don't want to know.
On the stairway to stardom. We'll end
James.
Public access television was just fantastic. it just was. There was a Mountain View public access TV thing, and some of the crap that they would put on there, even into the 90s, was just amazing. And I've been trying to find copies of some of the stuff that I remember, and I just can't. But there's a whole ton of Stairway to Stardom stuff on YouTube for anybody who wants to seek it out. It's just fantastic.
I mean, today we just call it YouTube.
Yeah. I mean, surprisingly, some of the acts on Stairway to Stardom are not terrible. I mean, that's not completely surprising, but a lot of it is really just not good. That's Sora thinking, oh, bless her heart.
Yeah.
Pretty painful, huh?
Yeah, a little.
Okay. Well, we've put in our 2 hours, so we could stop now.
No, and
yeah, or we
if
can keep
you
going.
want to make us to torture us a little bit more too.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, these parents need to be shot. The poor kid.
Yeah, it's pretty cringe by modern standards, isn't it?
The jingle is good though. The opening song.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty neat. I think all the production value went into hiring someone to sing and record that.
But they've got like full-length shows here of Stairway to Stardom. Oh God, a ventriloquist act. Oh God, no. Let's see. Let's see if I can find the ventriloquist act. Oh God.
Oh, there it is.
Dilly, really. I'm just curious. How are things going for you socially?
Oh, don't ask.
I shouldn't
No, in fact, I just met a guy who was so boring.
Really?
Yeah, he said that automation couldn't replace him.
Really?
Yeah, and I knew that because they still hadn't invented a machine that did absolutely nothing.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Okay, this is worse.
This is worse.
It's so creepy.
I gotta stop before. Oh, never mind. I won't even say it. Oh, all right. Well, this has been your Minions of the Zoo for Saturday.
Unfortunately.
Thank you, panel. Thank you, chat. Zoo is mercifully closed. Good night. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Say goodbye, everybody. Bye-bye now.